Now, what I'm doing is I'm at the Houston Auto Show. You're probably wondering how'd I get here when there's nobody here. Let me just show you. I'm gonna flip y'all around real quick. See, nobody's here. There's a man flying a drone around, but it's empty. You're probably wondering, how did you get to the auto show over by Mazda dealership, the Ford dealership? There's nobody here? Media credentials, guys. I told y'all the podcast this year is going to do big things. I'm already on my way. Got media credentials to the auto show. So now we're going to talk about where I'm at. I'm going to zigzag this, right? This might be a podcast. It might not. It might just be a video. But we're going to shoot a few of the cars here, things that I like, things that I see. And we're going to start off with Mazda because I'm standing right here. Now, fortunately, they do not have the SP concept here because that would have been magnificent. But we got the standard Mazda. So I'm going to just show y'all. You really know what Mazda does already, right? This is a CX-9, CX-90, 2024 model, CX-90. Let me zoom in on that. 58,000. That's pretty pricey. I'm not going to front. However, here's the thing. The motor that's inside of these is actually really kind of crazy. So if you look here, it's 340 horsepower, 369 foot-pounds of torque, and a 3.3 liter inline six. I'm not gonna lie, that's a pretty beefy motor for this thing, and the CX-90 does look good. So this is what it looks like now. Now, I'm not gonna spend too much time on the CX-90 and Mazdas, but while I'm here and there's nobody here, you might hear a drone flying around. We're gonna check it out. Interior looks cool, nice, simple design, nothing too crazy, but it's clean. And the one thing about Mazda is that their design has been very clean for a lot of years. Here's the rear. We got captain seats. The third row is, I don't know. Let me lift the seat up. The third row is like, you can already see the footwell back there. It's decent. It ain't really nothing crazy. Here's another thing though. Mazda does have something that's really nice. That is the Mazda 3 hatchback. I'm going to argue something here that goes against usually what I talk about, and that is the Mazda 3 is probably one of the best, not probably, it's one of the best looking hatchbacks that you can get. Arguably a little bit smoother, better looking than the GR Corolla. The GR Corolla is very rally-esque, muscular, aggressive for the road, but where Mazda should do, and where they have kind of messed up in my end, is that they they haven't done a Mazda Speed version, even though they said that Mazda Speed might be coming back, but they really need to show this car some love. This has a 227 horsepower turbocharged 4-cylinder, looks clean, looks good, but Mazda is really known for the Miata. Now they don't call it Miatas anymore, I believe it's MX-5, which is, they honestly should just bring the Miata name back, because even though they called us an MX-5, everybody's like, it's a Miata. I think the naming should change, but this is standard fare. This is like the quintessential roadster coupe, simple driver's car. It's not overly powerful, but it's fun, and you can drive it hard and fast and roll through the gears without getting arrested, essentially. Another cool car from Mazda. A lot of these like over fender style is becoming popular because it looks rugged, looks cool, people like how it looks. And so they've done it on a CX-50, which is this right here. See a little bit of a rugged package they have. Flares, a little bit of a knobby tire. Roof rack up there. Interior, it's surprising. I wasn't expecting the brown leathers. Or if that's real leather, who knows? These days half this stuff is synthetic. But this is clean, not bad for Mazda. If this is what you're into, SUVs, 2024 CX-50. This has the same motor that's inside of the Mazda Speed over there, which is kind of interesting because of how much bigger and heavier this car is to the Mazda Speed hatchback. Not Mazda Speed, the Mazda hatchback. But we're gonna jump over to Ford. Okay, so Ford is the bigger brand, the bigger name, as far as how many cars they have. So we're gonna peruse a few things here. Mustang Mach-E. Now I talked about this last time, and that was because Borla made an exhaust for this car that essentially put speakers somewhere at the bottom that allowed you to have a V8 sound when you're driving the car. Now, honestly, That's a little crazy, and I already spoke my mind on that on the podcast, but sheesh, 61,000. That's how much the 2024 Mustang Mach-E costs. I always did like these doors right here, this handle, because I thought it was a very cool option to open the car. Kind of hides it, keeps everything, the trim and everything very clean. And this is the interior, and I've been inside of a Mustang Mach-E before. It's simple, it's to the point. This is where I have a difference of opinion when it comes to, cars and their interior. Let me go in the back real quick to kind of show you what I'm talking about. When you look at these interiors, right, I'm always asking that it just gets a little bit better. I mean, this is very minimalistic, which is fine, but it just lacks any character. It's just a screen on the dash, screen on the steering wheel, and that's it, which I get people think that that's like the new way to design stuff and that makes it very clean and cool. But I prefer a little bit more on it. I do like how the Mustang Mach-E does look. I'm not opposed to it. I know it says Mustang and people that like Mustangs are gonna look at this and say it's not a Mustang, which I understand. They put the name on an SUV, but it don't look bad. This could look totally worse, in my opinion. It's a nice, simple SUV. They could do more with it as far as interior, but it ain't bad. Now, the bread and butter is the new Mustang. This is my first time actually seeing one, being inside of one. Usually I just see them on the street, but they have the Mustang here. I'm gonna show you what they got. They have a white one, GT convertible. I have another one here. This is not a GT. I could tell from the brake calipers. They're probably just a V6 one. Still 42,000. And this is what they look like. This isn't bad. Red color. Nice clean look. I do like the dash. Now see here, listen. Look it. This has nice little carbon fiber-esque trim right there. I do like the dual screen. Like the center console, everything there. Ford sync, flat bottom steering wheel with a fake carbon fiber, but it looks good. Nice little texture on it. Regular seats, not like the sport one, but they do have. This is a regular V6 one. I forgot the horsepower number on this one, but this is a standard, Mustang GT that you're gonna see the most of. This is the EcoBoost one, so it has a turbo 4-cylinder in here, but they also have this one over here, which is a GT. Now see, this is what we're talking about. First of all, this color, this grayish blue color, looks amazing under the light. And this one is the 5.0 liter motor that you get in here. So this one has the power, the performance. It's full GT. It's the one that everybody kind of bases their standards on as far as how this car is going to perform. You get the Brembo brake calipers right there. You get, what else you get? Brembo brakes up here as well too. Just jump inside. There's not much of a difference on the interior from what I can tell. Same trim up there, same flat bottom, same dual screen. There's an automatic one too. The rear seats are suggestions. And, it's all the same. What you get here is this is the performance one. You get the performance of it. You're not looking for a difference in interior. What you're looking for is a difference in power and performance. That's what that one's for. And they deliver on it because it's a little bit over 400 horsepower, V8. There's not many V8 sedans, V8 coupes. Ford already announced that they're going to continue to make the Mustang while everybody else decides to not make it. So we have that as a benefit because right now, that is the only thing that you got going. Everything else is getting axed and canceled. Now, another cool car, which is, I call it the Copmobile, which is the Ford Explorer. This is the Ford Explorer ST. This one has, what's the power on this one again? Can't remember, but I know it has a twin turbo V6, which makes a little bit, I think it makes north of 400 horsepower, but it's a very nice, quick, fast. They modify the heck out of these STs now to make them track hawk, runners basically. But this is an ST Ford Explorer. So think of the Ford Explorer, but give it a performance package. That's what this is. Similar to the Ford Focus ST. I do like that digital dash gauge cluster they have. And I mean, this is all simple SUV. Same design, simple, clean. You get the Ford Performance on there that talks about what it's doing. So it's a nice setup. Now their bread and all of their butter is the trucks, which is this F-150 Power Boost, F-150 there, right there as well. But then we have the Maverick. And I've talked about the Maverick on a TikTok video I've done and on my podcast. This is kind of a very big deal because of how popular this truck is. There aren't many inexpensive, $36,000 small trucks, properly small truck that still has the power and ability to run and do what it needs. But this is the Ford Maverick. Now, as you can see, nice clean interior. It's basic, but you want basic. The whole point of this truck was to keep it inexpensive. I do like this design here, even though somebody probably gonna be like, why'd they put a gap right there? But probably stick a tall water bottle there. Rear seat. I mean, it ain't a bunch of space back here. This ain't a super crew cab or anything, but I mean, you get the job done. You can put stuff back there. Has a nice sized bed. The point of this truck is to give you utility without it destroying your bank account, because that's what these full-size trucks are doing. Full-size trucks are like, I mean, you're talking like 60,000 starting on a lot of these trucks, 50. I mean, it gets ultra pricey in a way that, I mean, most people, they're just not gonna be feeling, or you're gonna have to have the means to do it. I mean, look at the trucks they got. We got a Ranger, another F-150 giant diesel trimmer package one over here. Not really sure what model this one is, but I'm not about to go and do a whole truck review on this. It's called CarQuicks, not TruckQuicks. Even though I do like trucks. F-250 Power Stroke, huge giant diesel truck. I don't gotta give too much info on that, but the people that need trucks this big already know what to do and what they're doing. Hauling stuff, picking things up, pulling trailers. They know what they're doing. We'll just jump around to the other cars. So here's the Ford Bronco. And I'm surprised they don't have one sitting out, but this is a very popular car and one that they don't have probably too many of. They're just sitting around. So this is the Ford Bronco. This is the Badlands edition. Badlands edition had the flares on there that I like, the wider flares. I don't know if it's as wide as they can go. Definitely not unlike the Raptor. But this is the Ford Bronco. They say if you test drive a Ford, you get a gift card. If anybody's coming to the Houston Auto Show, just know that. It's all this week. This is Wednesday. It goes until Sunday. And then they have this Bronco here. This is like the Bronco Sport, which I see they're trying to do the retro, like the older 80s, early 90s Broncos with the split color, blue and the white. It's cool. I mean, you really got to like that. It's a very funky looking design, but it doesn't look terrible. It does look clean, it does look cool. I like the cloth on the seats, something new. I mean, if you're trying to have something kind of funky looking, maybe if you live by the beach, California, I can see this being a nice little option for you. And then over here, where these gentlemen are checking out, this is the Ford Lightning. Now the Ford Lightning is the electric one, the electric F-150. This is kind of the big deal. They're both Lightnings over there. This one here and that one right there. These are like the big deal. The Ford Lightning is, as you know, Ford's F-150's Lightning truck. These start at $73,000, or not start, but this particular one is $73,000. And it's the same, simple, clean. I mean, if you notice how I've been in all the Ford cars, we kind of have a similar look as far as the interior goes and the design. But it's not ugly and it's not bad, but it does look good. Interior back here. See, compared to the Maverick, I had way less space. But the point of this is because it's a full-size truck. So now, full-size truck, you're going to get all the space and everything you need. And you know about the Lightning. So that is something that if you like electric trucks outside of the Cybertruck, That ain't the only one that's available. They have this one right here, which is the Ford Lightning. Get a full spin shot of this. I always like the headlights. The headlights to me are always nice. It's the Ford Booth I'm in. They look good. Like you zoom in on it. It's nice. I think they look proper. Now here's something else though. I was gonna make my way over to Lincoln and do a video over on that side, but something caught my eye that I can't even. We gotta completely stop what we're doing. They got the VW bus ID Buzz here. I can't get inside of it, but I can at least show it to you. I did not think this was gonna be here. Look at this. Come on. This looks so fire. Now I might be on my own island right now talking about how dope this looks, but this looks fantastic. So this is the ID Buzz. I talked about this on my podcast multiple times. I did shorts on it. I explained the cool factor is through the roof on this. This is an electric car, so I mean that might deter some people into liking it. But if we're coming from the old Volkswagen bus era, I mean, come on now, look at this. Got the partial shelf. I think this has 3 rows as well too on the American version. But come on, look at this. Look at all the character. We got little airplane food trays. They got the green. I got a rope right here, so I'm gonna respect that they don't want me in there. But you see the interior. I do wish they had more than one, but this is coming soon. This isn't out yet, but it'll be here fairly soon. This is probably, to me, this sounds terrible coming from like a car guy, but this is probably the most exciting thing that Volkswagen has coming out as opposed to any other car. They've had everything else, Tiguan's, Atlas, GTI, Golfs. Those are normal cars, but this one is probably the most exciting as far as like them making something that is cool, new, that hasn't been out in a while. So this is one of the best ones they got. Now, let me talk about the rest of the Volkswagen booth. As you can see, I'm right here. Again, Houston Auto Show, Volkswagen booth. They got all the lights on the car, making it look cool. So let's just go through the quick scan of the models they have here. Atlas Sport. This is an Atlas with the R package. R package kind of blacks everything out. Nicer wheels. Simple Volkswagen. I mean, if you're familiar with this SUV, that's what they look like. Nice. I do like this wood trim. I don't know if it's real or not, but I like how it looks on the dash. The lighting inside of the car is good. It's a little bright though, but they use LED lights. I prefer kind of a softer light in my interior on the car. But nice, clean. You know, got a little silver piping on the seat right here. You know, it's nice, clean. It's clean. It's an Atlas SUV. I mean, they've gotten praise for the car being good. If you don't want it to be so boxy, they got a sport one that takes away part of your utility with the storage, but it looks a little sleeker on the outside. Same interior. This one has a little bit of a blue stitch inside, or a blue pattern inside of there, so that looks cool. But, you know, Atlas Sport. Nothing too crazy, but this is standard. Looks good. Now here you got the Teos. That's their small, compact SUV. There's a $500 bonus at the Houston Auto Show if you decide to, you know, sign on a new Volkswagen. There's a small compact one, the Teos, Taos. Let me back up a little bit. And I mean, small, compact, standard SUV. I'll show you the interior real quick. This is obviously the most basic one that you could tell from the infotainment center over there. But looks cool, looks cloth seats. I mean, this is basic. This is what you would expect for standard small SUV. Nothing expensive, nothing extra, just straight to the point. And it looks good that way. Now they do have some other cars here. They have another Atlas, but this one, like I said, the off-road packages have been popular, and this is one of them, the Peak Edition on the Atlas. So what you get is kind of the flares, a little rugged, more off-roady looking tires, color. I do like the front end lights, and it's more of an appearance package as opposed to its ability to truly go off-road. They'll change the interior, a little bit of the gray on the seat, orange stitching. They have the same like open inside, similar to like the Toyota Sienna that has that like flying bridge on the center console. But this is clean. It's not bad. If you look over here, that Tiguan over here, it's like an R package one. You see everything's blacked out, exhaust tips, rear, same standard SUV. But let's go talk about the GTI, because that's what we're here to talk about. Now, they just recently announced the brand new GTI, which does away with the manual, unfortunately, and adds 20 more horsepower to the overall package. I do not believe this is that one, and I'll know in a second. Nope. So here's what Volkswagen did. On the GTI, I always like their steering wheels, nice, thick size wheel, flat bottom. But what they did on this last one, the MK8, is that they made these all capacitive buttons and everybody hated it. So on the new GTI, on the new one that was just announced, these now have buttons on them because they had to retract all this capacitive piano black that they put on this car, because that's the only thing I do not like about this. The overall GTI is good, but this amount of piano black, this is a fingerprint scratch magnet. Here, up there, it's just not. I love the seats, nice, leather or, synthetic leather, but like two-tone GTI. I like the lighting. You get the red lighting inside. If you look over there with the LED lighting, this is a large sunroof. I don't know if it goes back or if it's just like a moonroof, but that's huge for this car. Same, interior, utility. It's a hatchback, similar to what they put on the rear hatch. Now, here's one benefit here. Their floor on their hatchback is much lower than on the GR Corolla. But still same design, same clean, looks good. Now, the one that competes with my car, with the GR Corolla, would be the Golf R. The Golf R is a 300 horsepower all-wheel drive beast. That's the one that's like top of the pile. The GTI is a front-wheel drive Turbo 4. So the Golf R is really the direct competitor to what I drive, which is a GR Corolla. You'll notice larger brakes right here, much larger. I think they're like 2-piston options. They're not like the 4, but they still got a giant rotor. High power. These are around 48,000. You can kind of see some of the information. It's a 2024 one. But the main difference here is the interior is very, very similar, pretty much identical, save for the fact that I think these use more of a real leather, but if you notice, it has like a nice like carbon fiber type of look, blue stitching, power seats, memory seats. We ain't even got memory seats in our GR Corolla. This is more luxurious than a GR Corolla when it comes to some of the things inside the car. This has a DCT. I do not think it may come in manual, it may not. You'll see the LED color in here is now green because you can change it to different colors, which is a cool feature. But size-wise, it's all going to be the same. But you do get more features. Can you close that? You get a better spoiler. Nice, longer, larger spoiler. And if you look in the rear, it's quad tips as opposed to dual that you see on the GTI over there. The two there. Now, where this one exceeds is going to be in luxury. The GTI, the Golf R, car behind me, the Golf R is going to have more features inside, more luxury, more items, more things that you probably want in the car. That one will have. But it's not the performance, the power-wise of it is going to be similar, though there is an argument that the GR Corolla is a little bit faster. However, it's still a good car. That is the Volkswagen Booth. The best thing happening here is that ID buzz. Okay, I don't care what anybody says. The Golf R is cool. The GTI is cool. Here goes the Jetta. That's fine. The ID buzz. And I'm going to just look at it one more time. This is the best thing that's happening here just because of the nostalgia of the car, the return of it, and just what the future is going to hold for it. This comes out in this year, 2024. I don't know when they come, pricing. I'm almost positive we're talking about over 40K. That's guaranteed. There's no way it's any less. Maybe with some of the incentives, it'll become a little bit less. Who knows? Now I'm going to jump over to Lincoln because ain't that much to talk about with Lincoln. Lincoln is all SUV. There's a few, I don't know, does they got a few cars? They may have a few cars. They may not. But let me just show you. Let me show you the booth. That's Lincoln. A lot of space around here because, like I said, they got the Navigator, they got the Atlas, they got the Aviator. Not the Atlas, the Aviator. Here's the Navigator. I mean, you've seen Navigators. They have not changed the look of this SUV in a long time. This thing has looked the same for a while. That's locked. They don't want you on the Lincolns yet. That's a cool color, though. This Aviator, this matte finish is really cool. That's really nice. That's a nice feature. I don't think any of this stuff is open because it's all locked. But, I mean, we don't need to really get inside of an Aviator. You've seen them. You've seen them on the road. That's a very cool color, though. I do like that. What do you have over here? Other ones, white version. This is a Nautilus, which is a smaller version of like the Aviator, but still Lincoln is luxury. So if you didn't know, Lincoln is luxury. They are considered a step above Ford for more luxurious cars, better fitted, better technology, better things on there. So that's what you come to know when it comes to Lincoln. So that's what a lot of their cars are aimed for. I do like the front end of these. They do look cool. If it was open, I would show you the interior, but it's not. Maybe later on in the show, they'll open it up and I'll come swing by and give you a quick little look on what Lincoln was doing. A little bit of B-roll on the Atlas and the Nautilus. Here goes another version of it. Probably the same exact spec because the interior looks identical. And so do the wheels. But here's Lincoln. Like I said, we're going to be short and quick on the Lincoln. Ain't too much to talk about. Lincoln is who they are. They're still around. Ford is still here, so Lincoln will still be here. There's the business model Ford, people that like luxury SUVs. The car side of Lincoln has fallen off tremendously. I don't think people are really checking for Lincolns. They try to bring the Continental back. They didn't do it the service it needed because what they should have done was make it a rear-wheel drive, proper luxury sedan. It was front-wheel drive. They tried to throw in the suicide doors for a little special edition one. That ain't do nothing but get the few people that cared. So it just wasn't what they thought it was going to be. Now, I'm going to make my way over to, I'm going to go to Chevrolet because I want to talk to you. I want to go check out the Corvette E-Ray while there isn't a mass crowd around it for now. Go check out what that is. I'll be back. Peace. Before I was really interrupted by that announcement of somebody moving their Kia, I'm in the Chevrolet booth. Let me just spin y'all around, give y'all a view. See? Chevy booth. Got the E-Ray. Equinoxes. The new Equinox up there. I think that's the electric one up there in the front, maybe. We got Silverados. So we got the Chevy Trax. We got big 2500 HDs. But we're here to talk about this. I talked about this E-Ray in my podcast, and I love the way this looks, okay? I'm not even gonna lie. This looks fantastic. Carbon fiber here at the bottom. Carbon fiber trim lip here. Front bumper is cleaned up. Not as aggressive looking or as wide mouth opening as a Z06, but I appreciate that. You do get to still the wide vents right here on the side. This carbon fiber side skirt trim that goes all the way down. Large vent opening there. But this interior, my gosh. My favorite color is blue, so I'm partial to what I'm looking at right here. Even though it's a little a little aggressive as far as a two-tone. But I mean, I appreciate what I see here. Bose system, carbon fiber here. I'm gonna go on the driver's side in a second, but this looks, man, awesome. The only thing I wish they did is that there should have been some glass opening here to show off the motor, and the rear exhaust tips shouldn't emulate the C8, the regular C8 so much. You see the regular C8 over there, then you see that Z06 right there. I had to zoom in on it real quick. See the exhaust tips on that one right there? That has the 4 on there, which I think is better and should have been what they used on this here, or at least 2 or something. But still, I think the E-Ray is one of the best options they have for this car. Here goes the driver door. Look at this steering wheel. Carbon flat bottom, top to bottom. Blue line at the top to center it. All the controls on the side, which is kind of a funky bridge-like design, but I guess it works. Seats. I mean, this looks really good. There's not much you can say about it, other than it looks nice, unless you prefer the Z06. Now, this particular one is $133,000. This is a 3LZ package, which that's where it starts at. If I'm not mistaken, the 3LZ is like all the options, the extended leather, all the technology packages, everything inside of it. And this one's a convertible. So I think this one just has all the options on it. So there's something good to see. I do like how it looks. I'm gonna let some other people check this out, but that's the E-Ray. Now, I've talked about it on my last pod, but we're gonna jump over to the regular C8 and check out what this one looks like. Now, if you didn't know, hold on, let me flip you all around. If you didn't know, the E-Ray is the version that has a motor from like the same motor as it's in this regular C8, but with an electric motor onto it to make up to like 655 horsepower. It's not the flat plane monster sounding V8 that's in the Z06, but it gives you the power of the regular C8 with an electric motor on it that pushes it up to 655, and you get the look of the Z06, but it's like a Grand Tour that's fast as the Z06, and it's all-wheel drive. So if you're looking for something that can go in the snow, the E-Ray's that. Here's the regular C8. Interior is going to look the same. When those gentlemen are over there done with the Z06, I'll go over there and check that out. But that is a Z06, and the main difference there is going to be the powertrain. But here you go, C8. We'll take a walk over to the regular pedestrian cars. Here goes the Chevy Trax, which is standard SUV. Trax looking. Looks cool. 2024 TRS Chevy Trax. If you're looking for a compact SUV from Chevy, something inexpensive, I mean, here you go. I mean, these interiors pretty much kind of mold into being the same. A lot of the digital dash and screen is very common feature now. I remember back in the day when a digital dash or any screen was luxurious. Now we got that in every car. Pretty much standard fare across the board. It ain't nothing too special. Everybody got it. Another Trax we got over here. Nice, cool color. That looks good there too. My man behind me was recording. I'm gonna show him some respect because he was talking about the Silverado, so I don't want to interrupt what he was doing. I believe this is the Blazer EV. I think the other one's the Equinox. So here is the Blazer SUV. Now, one SUV of the year, though I don't know what they're doing as far as the ordering books on the Blazer. The Blazer right now, some of the ordering books were halted for a number of reasons, but I talked about this. They do not look bad. I just question the cost of these electric SUVs in relation to the people that are going to buy them and how much they cost. Like, for instance, what does this cost? This is $60,000. Standard is $56,000 that it starts at. I guess in the grand scheme of the cost of items and cars, that's not terrible. but it ain't cheap. I'll tell you that. Don't look bad though. I do like how it looks. It's not a bad looking car. This must be the Equinox that's right behind me. This right there, that has to be the Equinox. I'm almost positive it is. Let's see. Yep, I was right. That's the Equinox EV right there. 2024 Equinox EV. I don't have much information on this. Its range is up to 300, as they say. Seats 5. Standard charging, 8-year, 100,000-mile battery, limited warranty. I don't know what the limited part of the battery is because you can't touch it. So who knows what that means. But this is the Equinox RS, which the RS gives you the blackout package right there. Blackout wheels there as well. Which looks nice. I can't get inside, but I can tell from just looking through the window, we got red interior. So that's going to look nice. White, red interior. I mean, it's a go-to. Everybody does white, red interior. I personally don't really care for it that much, but it don't look bad. It's not something that you have to fight about. It's just a go-to white, red interior, and nobody's going to hate it, but I like something a little bit more different. We have the Malibu right there. I'll be perfectly frank. I thought this thing was done. I'm surprised it's still here. The Malibu's been holding on for all of its life. Lifelines, it has been extended. We got a Suburban here, big body. I don't have enough kids to warrant a Suburban. I do have 3, so somebody's gonna be like, yo, that's more than enough for a Suburban. Absolutely not. These things is mad expensive. They don't have any information on there, but Suburbans they're on the high end. We got a Colorado with definitely some aftermarket wheels. A little hot boyish, truck boys. But that is a much bigger wheel, but that's a Trail Boss for the Colorado. Right here is another Colorado. This one has, this is definitely modified. As you can see the shocks back there. I don't know the company behind that. Between the shocks, the tires, the spare tire carrier in the back. This is this is my speed. I like this. I'm not mad. All blacked out package. Okay. It's a ZR2. That's what this is. Okay. So I'm learning something, right? This is a 2024 ZR2 Bison. This has a Turbo Max engine with 430 foot-pounds of torque. Okay, I see the Bison. There go the Bison right there. Check out what this looks like. Interior color, it's like a greenish, army greenish. They got a little bit of I don't know if that's supposed to be like, that's like a rubber material. It's supposed to look like forged carbon or something. But you can see right here too. I mean, it's decent. I don't know about this interior color, I'm gonna be perfectly honest, but I mean, standard, 2-screen dash, rear area, a little bit bigger than a Maverick, but decent space right here. But it looks cool. It's something that's like, it's not too big, but it has a nice rugged look. Spare tire carrier is definitely eating up into your truck bed space, but that's what you asked for when you wanted the off-road package. Not that you'd be trying to change that tire anywhere on the road, probably, if you got it flat, unless you really are out there. I do like these guards right here. I don't know if they come down, but it looks like they could come off and then slide down flat. We got a Tahoe here. My brother-in-law has one of these. This is an RST model, so it's a little bit of a performance package. So you got the big beefy brakes, which, interesting enough, they call these performance brakes and they're by Brembo. But the size of SUVs and how much they weigh, this should be the standard. Considering how people drive, the bigger the car, the brakes should be exponential. So the performance package getting these beefy brakes where it probably could stop even better than a regular Tahoe, I argue should be on every car, on all the Tahoes. But interior looks cool. I've been in a Tahoe, I've rented these before. I've driven them, so nothing surprising for me. This is standard Tahoe fare. Captain's chairs. Maybe I'll do a montage video later on. I'll walk through all the cars and talk about what they're doing and what they have. But that was Chevy for you. Let me go check out the one last thing that guy was talking about, that HD, big truck. I'm not a truck person, so I don't know that it was a big deal, but he was talking about it real excited. So I'm gonna go check it out, see what he's talking about. Maybe it's something that I want to talk about more. It does have a cool grayish color. He's still inside of it right now. I'm gonna give him his space. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a peek. It's that right there. So it's a ZR2 package on what looks to be a 2500 HD, and it looks aggressive. Not gonna lie, that looks big, aggressive. It looks cool. I'll circle back to that. I can probably see why he would be interested in that entire car and what it was doing. Not car, truck. Let me go see if the Z06 is free. If it is, I'm gonna go check it out. If the Z06 is free, oh, it is. We're gonna go check it out real quick. So I showed you the E-Ray. And the E-Ray is based on the regular C8 with an electric motor on it. Gives you the power for it. The Z06 is the kingpin. It's the top of the pile. Flat plane crank, naturally aspirated, over 600 horsepower, V8. You can see it in the back. Hand built. You see who Caleb Dudley is the one that built this motor. His name is on the back. You see the color, you see the wheels. Now, if you're noticing that the frame and the outside, interesting enough, the E-Ray over there had the carbon fiber package on the outside. This one does not. As you can see, the splitter down there is just standard, like a pearl black. And the front lip is paint matched, which I do see. I like that idea, paint matching the front lip, but then making the side like black color, maybe like the side vents. But then when you come to the rear, making them black. I like that look. Jump in interior real quick. Now, the big difference here should be if it has it. I don't know if it does, but usually the seats are a little bit different. These are like the sport. I think they're the sport touring seats of how they look. You're going to hear that tone sound if I sat inside, but two-tone leather, tan, looks good. All right here. Bose sound system, that's a performance series. I guess it's tuned to handle the exhaust note. This is also a target top, as you can see right here. That comes off. But I mean, that's a Z06. I don't have to, this has been talked about. Everybody knows how great it is. The people that had the means to buy one of these did. If you notice, it's even less than the E-Ray, 121,000. E-Ray is a little bit more, but that's because that had a 3LZ package. So the 3LZ package, you notice on the front end had a little bit more extra sauce on the front when it came to the carbon and the stripe and the two-tone blue interior, but they both look amazing. So that's Chevy for you. Chevy at the Houston Auto Show. Hey, they came through with the stuff that they needed. Now, let me go check out this HD. I think that guy, he's finally done. So that's what this is. ZR2. I mean, this is a beast of a truck. I'm 6'3", and this front end is sitting at near my chest where the front of this comes. But I like the red accents. The grayish, flat gray, bluish gray, Nardo gray color. That's the normal thing. This 87,000. I mean, you better save your ducats. But, you know, if you're into... It has the same color interior as that Bison Colorado. I don't know if I really like this. It's a funky greenish, grayish color. It looks okay. But you get the nice digital dashboard. You get the screen. You get the size. I mean, this is for people that are hauling and moving. Now, the nice thing about trucks this size is you get a huge amount of rear leg room and space. But you also can put these seats up, lay them flat, get a bunch of storage, full-size truck bed. I mean, this is for like the workers, the people that are hauling trucks and doing all of that. It looks cool. It's nice. I'm not in the market for like a full-size truck like that, but nonetheless, it is good. They don't have any electric cars for Silverados, but you know, it'll be soon enough. Silverado has one coming. Chevy has a Silverado EV coming, so they're going to be here in a short fashion. But I do see that they do actually have a full Bronco at the Ford booth. And I was mistaken in saying that they didn't, because it's right here. That's a Ford Bronco. I'll come back and check it out. These guys are looking at it right now. But that's a Ford Bronco in all black. We'll come check it out later. All right, we're going over to Toyota.